Our golden retriever Tucker could not be more lovable, but the one thing I don't love is when he gets a little smelly like all dogs can. Thank goodness we discovered Coat Defense Daily Preventative Powder. This magic powder is a game changer. It acts like a dry shampoo and it keeps his coat clean and dry by eliminating the bacteria that causes odor in the first place. A quick sprinkle all over keeps him fresh and handsome. I recently started using this product in his ears by gently applying with a small fluffy brush, and now that stinky, yeasty smell that you know dogs can get in their ears is gone. If your dog smells, this is the answer, let me tell you. So go to coatdefense.com and use the code MOMMA15, that's MOMMA 15, for 15% off your order. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today's podcast is one that is guaranteed to put a smile on your face. If you spent any time on social media lately, there's a good chance you've come across the pint-sized farmer with the big personality, 10-year-old Jackson Laux, better known as Just a Jackson Thing. With his encyclopedia-level knowledge of tractors, his old-school farmer mannerisms, and a heart full of passion for agriculture, Jackson has captured the hearts of over 1 million fans across social media. His mom, Jessica, joins me for this conversation, and Jackson makes an appearance as well. We talk about how Jackson's love for farming began before he could even walk, how their family found their way back to agriculture, and what it's like to navigate viral fame as a family. Jessica shares the behind the scenes of their journey, from working with iconic brands like John Deere to making sure they stay grounded in what really matters. It's a conversation about family, purpose, and the power of letting kids lean into what they love. Let's jump in. Jessica, thanks so much for being with me today. I'm super excited to meet you because it's been really fun to follow along on what has had to be a pretty wild ride, all from people being so fascinated with your extremely intelligent son.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride. A lot of learning. Like, I was not in media or recording or editing, so I've learned a lot in the past it's almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
So
So did you kind of just have the basic account that most moms would, maybe a Facebook account and an Instagram account, but you weren't creating content, right?
I did a very small portion of creating I had my own business at the time with woodworking. So I was just posting like pictures though, and very few videos, just like projects that I would do, but nothing on the scale of what I do now with Jackson at all. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, but it was just like Instagram and Facebook and minimal posting for sure.
Right, right. So I want to hear a little bit more about you to start with. Did you marry into a farming family, or is this how you grew up as well? Are you in the farming community?
Yeah, so I did grow up on a farm. We live like 4 miles where my parents are. So I grew up where my dad grew up. It was a dairy farm. So that's like my first job that I remember was feeding the calves. I was barely tall enough to like keep the buckets off the ground. So I mean it was, yeah, we had dairy cattle, we had beef cattle, we had horses. So my dad, we had, hay and straw and wheat and all the crops. So that's what I grew up for most of my childhood and early teenage years was doing. And then my husband's family, they were hog farmers and then also they did crops. So yeah, so we were both had a farming background, but once we got married, we just scaled it way back to just doing hay for a while. And then we quit doing that also. So we were just doing other jobs and pursuing other passions at the time. So
And what about now? What type of farming do you guys do?
Jackson's getting us back into it. So
So he's been the motivator to get back into it, right?
yeah, for sure. His dad and I both did more construction work. And like I said, I do woodworking. And so Jackson, he's done that with us. Like he was 2 months old and I think I had him in a carrier and I was doing concrete because my husband needed the help. And so I just plopped him in there. So he's always been with us with doing things. But yeah, we definitely encouraged his passion for farming because our families are still farming. So we both agree it was a great way to grow up. And, everybody lives close, so it was easy to pop him in a tractor or go to the farm. And so Jackson's getting us back into farming. He planted his first 2 acres of corn in the spring this year.
To me, it sounds like you don't have a choice. You're going to have to go right back into farming because of his
Right.
passion.
Yeah, and we're fine with that. We love supporting his passion for sure.
Yeah. So tell me about Jackson as a toddler. I mean, it's not unusual. I mean, my kids were like, one of my boys' first little ride on toy was a John Deere plastic green, like scoot with your feet
Yep.
tractor. So, what was it that you could already see in Jackson about maybe the passion was in overdrive for tractors and farming?
Yeah, I think like, we got him, like you said, my dad got him that like push on, ride on little gator before he was even born. So, but we would get him little toy tractors. I mean, he was always drawn to that. But what like struck us as different with him, I think he was like 1.5. So, most like 1.5-year-olds would tear a magazine, the sound and crinkle it. Joe, his dad, would bring home like Tractor House magazines or tractor magazines, and Jackson at 1.5 in his little diaper would sit there and just look for what he used to call Johnnies. Like he would look for a Johnny tractor. Like,
Which was a John Deere.
yeah, yeah. So it was just, it astounded us that at such a young age, number one, he could say Johnny. That's what he referred to as a John Deere tractor, and that he would just so carefully look through to try to find a Johnny tractor at so little. So.
Yeah. So that was the first thing where you're like, okay, this is unusual for sure.
Yeah, we're like, wow, this is unique. And then yeah, he talked early, and he would pay attention to details, and he would remember things like someone once commented he had a little toy in his hand, and they're like, "Oh, that's a nice truck." And he's like, "It's a dump truck." Like,
Let's be specific, okay?
yes, he's very, even from a young age, he was very specific. Like, if you're going to call something, you call it what it is.
Yeah, and I've heard you guys talk about his memory before. I mean, even now, like it's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, even at a young age, he would remember things that happened when he was 2 or 3, and he would recall them when he was 4 or 5. And he still recalls stuff that from when he was very young, like a specific tractor or a specific time. Like it's very specific related to what he wants to remember for sure.
So was a big treat for him, where kids have different things like they look forward to or want to do. Was it climbing on the tractor with his grandfather? Well, like was that a big event for him?
Oh yeah, harvest time is the most favorite time. We had a tractor here on our property, like we'd use it for plowing snow and stuff. And even when he was tiny, he'd always want to go out and see, he used to call it Yellow Johnny. And he would just want to sit on it and just play on that tractor. Like he'd rather do that than go to a playground. So I would take him out there and we'd, sit around with the tractor. And then yeah, anytime I could get him over to my dad's or with his uncles out in the field, he was wanting to ride as much as he could. Like he loved riding along and chatting tractors.
I think what blows my mind the most is how knowledgeable he is about this equipment that for the most part he can't even reach the pedals on yet.
Yeah, yeah. If only he's getting taller, and that's what we tell him all the time. Like some of the equipment he can run now, but yeah, he loves the older stuff. So that older stuff is a lot harder to drive than the newer stuff. The newer stuff is a lot of it's run by hand, but he
Right.
loves that older stuff, to shift through with the gears and clutch. And so yeah, he's definitely getting excited that he's getting big enough to run the stuff finally. That his body's catching up with all the head knowledge he had. Like he could tell you how to run it or he could run it, but he just wasn't physically tall enough yet to be able to do it. But yeah, he definitely has a passion for it.
Where did that love of the old stuff, the vintage tractors and all of that, where did that come from?
I think it's because it's what his dad and I grew up with. So we would, he would ask his dad, well, like, what kind of tractor did you guys have at this time or this time? And you know, like they still do it to this day. They lay on the couch in the evenings, there's the two of them after his dad's home from work, and they'll watch like This Old House is playing in the background, is usually what it is. And they talk tractors. Like, well, what did you guys have at this time or this year? Like, what was the specification on this tractor? So it's a lot of that older stuff because that's what his dad grew up with. And so that's the knowledge his dad has. And so I think Jackson just naturally picked up on that. He loves that era. He likes older things. Like he'll go antique shopping with me. And he's just, he's been around a lot of older ones throughout his life with his dad and I, whether it be just friends of ours that are older or ones that we've taken care of, or like his great grandpa is still alive. So he just loves talking about the good old days. And it's fit for him. We've always called him the little old man.
Yeah. And a lot of people describe his demeanor in the way he talks about the tractors and things, or people that have had conversation, they feel like they're talking to like an older gentleman. You know, he's lived on the farm his entire life. So, I mean, it's really just kind of the way he carries himself is so funny.
Yeah, and again, he's always been that way. People would make comments about it, and we're like, well, it's just Jackson being Jackson. That's how he's always been. Is
Is that where that Instagram handle came from? Just Jackson?
Our niece came up with that because that was kind of her handle. She's the one that kind of started everything, and so, but it does fit. It's just a Jackson thing. It's the way Jackson is, and it's just the way he's always been. So
Yeah. When before all of this went viral, oh, there he is. Hello, Jackson. I was hoping you might make an appearance today. How are you?
Good. Good.
Good. What do you think about your mom being interviewed for the podcast?
What do you think about that?
Give us a little tractor speech, Jackson. Like, what are you saving up for? What's the one that you can't wait to be able to buy and drive?
Garden tractors. That's kind of what I'm invested in. It's garden tractors.
What's the one you were telling me this morning you want to get? A 120?
140.
Oh, a 140.
A 140. Again, back to the specific, right?
Yeah, I got to get it right.
Jackson, has this journey been fun for you when you find out that so many people have watched a little video that you have in there?
What do you think about that?
About what?
About everybody like watching your videos and everything?
It's different from being a normal kid, I guess.
It sounds like it's a little different than normal.
Yeah, it is.
I think you have fun with it, though. You've had a lot of cool and fun experiences, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you are one impressive guy. And you know what my favorite part is? It's the education and the passion that you're giving and inspiring other young people to want to learn more about agriculture. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love seeing all the little kids that come up to him at some of the shows and stuff and are excited and talk
Some
about...
of them are like this tall and some of them are this tall.
Yeah.
Most of them are this tall.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I told your mom this, but I actually was hoping to meet you, but I did see you from a distance when you were backstage at the Luke Bryan Farm Tour.
Oh. I think we were on the bus when he was on stage.
Probably, yeah. Yeah,
Luke and him they had to talk tractors.
Of course they did. So tell me about Mom or Jackson, what it was like when I think we just want to know like how this all started. Was it your niece that posted a video of Jackson and then it got a lot of attention?
She actually, our niece had recorded at a family like fall get together that we usually have, and he was just talking with a cousin of his like across the room, and she just recorded it because it just looked like two farmers or two guys just chatting about tractors. And she posted it to TikTok. I guess she said she'd shared it with her friends on Snapchat. And they were like, oh my gosh, what a great video. You should put it on TikTok. So she posted it. We didn't know about it. We didn't have TikTok. And like 2 days later, she's messaging like, I hope you guys are okay with this. I'm sorry I should have asked. But this video of Jackson has went viral. It has over 1 million views. And we were just like, we thought she was joking at first. And then she showed us and she asked to come out and give Jackson a gift that someone had sent him. And then she made another video because at first we're like, it's just probably a fluke. And then that next video, I think, got like 4 million views. 5, yeah. And so her and our nephew, her brother, encouraged us. They're like, he could kind of make a living at this. And we asked Jackson if he wanted to keep sharing his passion about tractors and agriculture. And he said, yeah. And they helped me set all of it up and get it going. And here we are.
Yeah, I'm gonna head off. See ya.
You're okay.
Okay, good to see you, Jackson.
Yep.
Thanks for stopping there.
See ya.
Hey Hey, thanks so much for your support of Got It From My Mama. I hope you are enjoying this episode. Did you know that there are more than 100 episodes of the podcast available for you to listen to? Be inspired by our awesome conversations with mothers of athletes and entertainers and entertaining moms. Be sure to subscribe on this platform, on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our insider newsletter by visiting gotitfrommymamapodcast.com. I'd love to hear from you. Now, back to the episode. So from those videos going viral and kind of starting the account and being like, okay, well, if people are going to react this way, we'll just kind of jump in and create this content and teach more people about agriculture and show Jackson's passion for it. What have been some of the highlights or the opportunities that have come your way that you probably never would have even...
Oh my gosh, it feels like every opportunity that has come along has been like another pinch me moment. But when John Deere reached out and wanted to start doing some recording with him, that was crazy to us. You know, we both, like I said, my husband and I both grew up with, using John Deere tractors, and then for them to reach out and appreciate Jackson's passion for John Deere tractors especially, and wanting to work with him, and then for them to make him the chief tractor kid. That's been unreal. And they've been such an amazing company and brand to work with. They're very conscientious of him as a kid. And they just don't ever want to overwhelm him, which as a mom, I completely appreciate their thoughtfulness of him as a kid and respecting that and respecting our family and our beliefs and different things. So just working with them has really been I appreciate them even more, from growing up with loving a brand to the people that work for that company. And also, getting to meet Luke and getting invited to his concerts. Jackson doesn't know what a real concert is like.
It was his first country music concert, getting to go backstage and hang out with Luke Bryan.
There's no waiting in line, to get in, and just going to hang out with Luke on the bus. And he's just like, Luke's just another guy. He's just a guy that loves farming, and he's just doing his job. And I was like, that's a really good way to look at it. So
Jackson does seem rather unaffected, unfazed by the fame that has come along with the journey. Does that seem so to you?
I'm very proud of how he handles it all. I know at times it probably does get a little overwhelming for him. Like at a farm show, he gets recognized a lot. But the way he has handled it so kindly and appreciative with people, even though he is a 10-year-old kid, so he definitely does get tired, and he lets us know. We have a good communication as a family. But overall, he's like, I just love sharing and talking about tractors and agriculture.
Yeah. And my guess is that you as a mom, if it did seem overwhelming or too much, or he gets to a point where he's not even having fun with it, you probably don't want to pursue it, right?
When this all started, that was our first thing, was like, okay, this can't take over us as a family or the time we have together as a family. And that, if he's done, then we're going to be done. Fulfill a contract if there's a contract. We let our yes mean yes. But if he's not having fun, then we're not going to pursue it or do it, because it's about him and his enjoyment. We want it to continue to be enjoyable for him and be a passion for him, not a pursuit or work.
Exactly. Yeah. And I bet appearances at like these farm shows and things like that, that's kind of part of his job now, right?
He doesn't love just a meet and greet where he's the center of attention. So, he doesn't love that, but like we've done this last time with John Deere, he did it for a little bit, but then they had him working the register, and that way he got to interact with people and chat with them, but he felt like he was still doing a job. Like he didn't feel like all the attention was on him, and he loved that. Like he had a blast ringing people up and talking with them that way, and just like it was more like a casual, laid back, and he didn't feel like it was all the attention was on him. So he had a blast. Like they even got done with like some of the recording, and he's like, I'm not done. I'm still working the cash register. They need the help. So
I love that. Yeah. And that work ethic in him, he went like, give me a job. And if you want to show me doing it, great. But don't make me just stand there and shake people's hands and take pictures all day, right? I love that. I heard your husband say, I think it was on the Today Show interview, but I heard your husband say that when you got the call from John Deere, it was like the mothership calling.
Like, especially for my husband, I think for him and his family, it was like, for all of us, it was a pinch me moment. But it was like, he's had this passion for John Deere. We encouraged it, obviously, because we use John Deere. But it was very weird to have those conversations. And like, my husband and I would talk like, is this really happening? Are we working with John Deere? Or is this person calling us? Like, this is so weird. But amazing opportunity.
Were you already homeschooling him before this journey began, or did everything kind of snowball and you really needed to because, at the end of the day, Jackson's kind of
Yeah,
got a
so
job. He's
I
working.
have always homeschooled him. I had worked in the school system,
Okay.
and I just knew, and I homeschooled when I was in high school. So when I found out that we were having Jackson, I was like, this is what I want to do. Because it gives you such a nice flexibility, and to really, I can make the curriculum tailored to him specifically. And so that's what I really wanted to do. We do like book work in the morning, but then the rest of the day is outside, it's hands-on, it's working together as a family. And he gets to have amazing opportunities, but still he's got his, base education, but then we get to do all these amazing other opportunities and experiences that he wouldn't have if he was in, a brick and mortar school.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that is so, especially I think with his knowledge and personality, like you've really figured out how do I speak to him or teach him in a way that will hold his interest too. Can you give me an example of maybe a lesson?
Jackson makes me be a better person and teacher because of his intelligence. Like last year, he was like, "You really need to use more ag in school, Mama." Like I was like, "Okay, I will up my ag game." So yeah, for math and problems, I was using, okay, if you're going to spread fertilizer or if you need to put on corn seed, you need to know how to figure that calculation with your acreage versus, the bags. And so using it that way, he paid a lot more attention than if I was just like, here's a math paper, go do this. So I'm definitely trying to implement that more, especially as we start a new school year. Actually, today was our first day back. So yeah, so it's nice because
Wow.
we do like after Labor Day to just before Memorial Day.
Right. You can squeeze a lot more in probably and have the flexibility because you're going to farm shows and you're, doing things that you might get invited to another country music concert and need to
Right.
pick up
And
and go.
that's the thing I love is that we can either work ahead or we can catch up really easy. And even on like these experiences, like when we went to the CMAs last year, we went and toured the Hermitage, Andrew Jackson's home in Nashville. So he loves history. So I always look for an opportunity like that wherever we go. So there's history all throughout the U.S. You just have to look for it. Oh.
Amen. I agree. How involved is Jackson in the content?
We do not plan content hardly at all. So I mean, other than if we're working with a brand and we need to do a specific, brand style.
For me, is it
Yeah,
Skechers?
so Skechers had come out
It's
with a
Skechers.
John
Okay.
Deere shoe line for men and kids. So yeah, so he wears Skechers, the boots and sneakers a lot now. So yeah, other than he'll work on his, like he has these mini farm toy displays. So that's when he'll be like, "Hey, I just got done. Can you come up and record this new display that I did?" Or if he's going to go, I will say he's the one that pulls me off is like, "Hey, I'm going to go run this tractor in the garden. Like, can you come record it?" But a lot of it is just everyday things that we're doing or that we've done that I've caught or recorded. So yeah, he is the one that's behind the recording. I just aim and shoot and then I edit.
I think that's refreshing to hear that he's just not like, Mom, do we need to shoot this?
No, not at all. Like there'll be days that we go without recording and I'm fine with that. Like I don't want him to feel like a pressure to do it. I want it to be fun. And when he's excited about something that he wants me to record, you can see that. You can feel that in the recordings that he's excited to share something with people or that he's passionate about it. So that's what I just stay true to, very organic and very our everyday life kind of stuff for sure.
I think you have such a healthy approach to all of this. Like it's fun and, has potential to be lucrative and support him and his future and the family and all of that. But also it's just kind of like an added bonus of Jackson being Jackson.
Like that's what I tell people is this has given me such wonderful memories of recording all of this. There's so many times I've caught something on recording that I probably wouldn't have, and I wouldn't have remembered it, but I get to go back and I get to listen to it and I get to hear all his funny little sayings or his little quirky things that he says, or like, do you remember when you said this about this tractor, or like how you said you wanted to get this tractor. Well, look, 6 months later, you now have this tractor. So it's created such amazing memories that we're going to have for a lifetime. And yeah, it's a side job. And that's the way we all look at it is it's given him an opportunity to start back in farming or to create, his first generational farming for himself. And it's given, us an opportunity as a family to have some really amazing experiences for sure.
What are some of the things you've heard from other parents of how maybe their kids have been inspired?
I love hearing that, my toddlers are now watching, or we love that it's something clean and family friendly that we know our kids can watch, that they're going to learn something from, your content, and that we don't have to censor what they're watching. I love that. That is a mom I love, is like, we are family friendly. And others that talk about that their kids have gotten into it or gotten into those mini displays because Jackson makes it look so much fun. And those mini displays, like at first I kind of got it like it was carpet farming or that he was just putting a display, but really when you look at how many details not only Jackson but all these other kids put into these displays, it's really a form of art. It is amazing the talent and skills that these kids have to get down to these tiny little details with like a tiny little junk pile, or they got their little dog, or just the detail that these kids put into these displays. And looking back to see where Jackson first started with his display, to see where he's at now in such a short period of time, to see how he's grown. And I love Jackson has a whole story behind every display. Like he has a whole family line about like this was his brother's farm, or that I went down the road and I took it from this farmer, or that he retired and I bought it for, like, every display has got a story with it. And I just love it. And I love when other parents are saying, my kid is getting into these displays, like, where do you get this? So when I can share like where we get the materials or like how Jackson has done it with other parents or other kids, I love to hear that they've gotten a passion that's not with technology, that they're thinking and getting creative.
Right. And using their imagination, which I think is so important for kids. And it sounds like those displays really allow him to use his imagination.
That imagination is going constantly. So to have a creative...
Maybe he didn't need any help in that area,
but to hear that he's inspiring other kids to get into it. We met several at the farm show that we were just at in Illinois saying that they were going to do their first display for the first time this coming year. And, they'd ask Jackson different tips or ideas of what they should do. So, and I love that, it's such a fun little community that we have found of, different kids and different families that do these displays and they all share their ideas. They're like, well, this is how I did this. So it's such a warm and welcoming little community that we have found. And just hearing families share that he reminds them of maybe their uncle or their grandpa, or reminds them of when they were kids, and just all those fond memories they have growing up farming, even ones that say, I don't farm now, but I grew up that way. And you bring back like so many positive memories from how I grew up that they're like, it just brings a smile to my face. Like, we love hearing, and that's what majority of the comments are. The messages are so positive and so kind.
The positivity that's being spread is pretty special, and it almost makes you feel like there's a bigger purpose behind all of the things that you're showing and doing. And yes, you're documenting Jackson's life, but it feels like there's a bigger purpose of inspiration behind the positivity that you guys are able to share. It
has been amazing. And for ones that are even like, I don't farm, but it was so sweet. I got a message from an older couple. They were in their 60s. They're like, we've never had a garden, but Jackson has inspired us to garden. So they were sharing with us about what they planted that year and shared with us pictures. Like, I love that. Like, all ages. Like, he has encouraged in some way, or positive, a positive effect. And we absolutely love that.
That's so special. I was trying to think back. I mentioned the Today Show. You mentioned the CMA Awards, backstage at the Luke Bryan concert. What am I missing that have been like the big invitations where you're like, what?
The Jennifer Hudson show, we flew out to California and did that. That was early on. She was doing a special on people that are unique on social media, like that have went big. Because I was like, Jennifer Hudson's not a farm girl, but she's super nice and she wanted to learn about farming. So Jackson was happy to share with her. But yeah, the CMAs, the Today Show came out. He's done several different podcasts. Yeah, I think that's I shouldn't say that's it, because that's an amazing list.
All of those are pretty special. So what's next for your family? Is there anything on the horizon you guys are looking forward to?
Oh yeah, right now, like I said, we just started school. So that was like my mindset. I was like, fall's coming, we got school to start. He's looking forward to harvesting his first 2 acres probably next month.
And corn, I think, is so fun to grow because you literally can watch it
Yeah.
grow every single day.
And he's looking forward to, hopefully next year, he's wanting to get more acreage. So that's his goal, is to get more acreage so that way, he can continue to grow the farm. He's always pinning on like Beacon or like local land lots, like trying to find little pieces of land that maybe people really don't want to farm. So he's very.
Okay. Yeah, so now he's going to get it. So he's going to obtain some property to expand. Is the garden he's growing now, or the acres that he has, is that right there on your property?
Yeah, so it's actually right in front of his grandma, my husband's mom's property. So his uncles had farmed it, but
Okay.
just those 2 acres, his uncle graciously was like, Jackson, you can go ahead and farm this. So Jackson was able to farm that at his grandma. So it's not too far of a drive to go over, and we go and visit with grandma anyway, so he can check on it and see it. And then the garden side of things, like he did 40 feet by like 19 feet of sweet corn this year, so that's right on our property. So yeah, he was able to watch that grow and check on it and keep the coons out. That was his project this summer. So keep the coons out, them dang
Keep the coons
coons
out. I love it. Well, Jessica, it was so fun to meet you and just hear a little bit more about y'all's journey. And I think, of course, my lens, thinking about what it's like for you as well. So much attention on Jackson and, all of that. But somebody's back there kind of putting the boundaries around what the journey looks like and making sure that it's all healthy and he's having fun. And then also, I know that you appreciate the side of the positivity and the education and the passion that he's kind of helping to spread. It's going to be contagious, I'm sure.
Yeah, I love being behind the scenes. I love being part of his world. It's a fun world to be a part of. It always has been. So yeah, we just look forward to continuing this journey as long as he's having fun, and we're just there to support him, and I'll just keep doing what I do. He calls me the momager, the manager of the chaos. Right?
Yes, we can all associate with that. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time and good luck in all the upcoming endeavors and the school season.
Yes, and I appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun to talk with you and meet another mom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, now that we've shared dozens of episodes, surely we're friends, right? Well, I have a favor to ask. Would you take a minute to leave a 5-star rating and a review on whatever app you're using to listen to the podcast? This helps so much with reaching a wider audience. We'd also love for you to subscribe to our Insider newsletter and, of course, follow us on social media and on YouTube at Got It From My Momma. That's right, you can watch any of these episodes on YouTube. Visit our website, gotitfrommymomma.tv, and you can get links to all of these things. I'm so thankful you're along for the journey.